Okay, now that we have our year display working pretty well and we have clickable names, let's go ahead and implement name.php. And I'm going to want to reuse as much of the code as I can from before. And I'm going to take advantage of something called inheritance in object-oriented programming to do that. So I'm going to start with a simple example. Let me start by refactor copy year.php to name.php. And here, instead of getting the year and gender as get parameters, I'm going to get the name and gender. So that's name key here, and name key here. And default name, Mary. Mary was a popular name. And so we're okay for gender, but when we get to this records here, name popularity set, this is expecting a year and a gender, not a name and a gender. And so what I want to do is basically have two different kinds of popularity sets. So the one I have here in year, I'll call that a year set, and the one I'm using here, I'm going to call that a name set. And both of these things are going to be different kinds of name popularity sets. So what I'm going to do is under includes, I'm going to create a new PHP file, and this one will be YearSet, and I want to define it as a type of name popularity set. So class YearSet extends name popularity set. And extends means that everything that I have defined in name popularity set is also going to be here in YearSet. But I don't really have that much in name popularity set. I basically just have some constants and a SQL query in the constructor and a getRecords method. So what I'm going to do is cut all of this stuff out here that's year specific and paste that into my year set. So now a year set is a name popularity set with this stuff. Now I'm getting a little squiggly under mRecords because mRecords has private access in my parent class. And that's where protected comes in. So by making this protected, that means my YearSet subclass can now access this variable, like so. So now if I go back to year and I change this to YearSet and I include YearSet, everything should work the same on that page. Let me go ahead and do that. Reload. Undefined class name field. So I also have to change these constant references here. So this is now name popularity set. So all these constants are local to this class. Sorry, they're all local to this class rather. So let me go ahead and fix these. And now reload. And everything works the same. So now I can do the same thing for my name.php, except name.php is going to use a NameSet. And I'm going to include NameSet.php. And then I'm going to start by copying YearSet. So refactor copy NameSet. And then the thing that's going to be different about the name set, other than the class name, is this query is going to be different. So let's figure out what the query needs to look like. I'm going to go back to phpMyAdmin, SQL. Oh, I have to turn off debugging. Continue. Close that. So I'm going to want to return a record for every year. And so I'm going to start by typing select star from year gender totals where gender equal F, and then order by year. So that should give me a list of all of the years, 1915 through 2014, for all gender equal Fs. Let's show all. Good, so I have all the years coming back. And then I want to add a column that's going to have the name count for a particular name for each year. So let's go ahead and add that column. And I only really need year here, so let's go year, comma, and then I'm going to do this in a subquery. So here's going to be a subquery as name count. And what the query is going to do is select name count from name counts, and then I want to join that with the names table on name ID equal FK name ID. So this will get me a count linked to a name, and then I can select where name equal a particular value. So I'm going to pick a name that's popular now that wasn't popular in the past, so that I have some years where that name doesn't appear in name counts. And that way I can make sure that I'm actually getting records for all the years. So I'm going to use the name Alyssa, which actually wasn't a most popular name before 1950. So this is going to be the name count for Alyssa, and then I want it to be in this particular year, so I also want to add and year gender total ID equal FK year gender total ID. So this is called a correlated subquery, which you'll learn about in CIS 275. And I think that might be it for now. I'm going to have to do something about the nulls, but let's go ahead and see if I'm getting something for each year. Show all. So I am getting something for each year, 1915 through, and then 1950 I start getting Alyssa as a most popular name, so I have name counts coming back. And then it peaks in popularity around 1999 and starts to decrease after that. So far so good. The only other thing I want to do is I want to get rid of these null values and return 0 when they're null. And in MySQL, the way you do that is using if null. If you've taken 275 with Microsoft SQL Server, you know about an is null function. If null in MySQL does about the same thing. So I'm going to say if null, and then this value, comma, 0. So this will return 0 if this value returns null. Let's go ahead and execute that and show all. Great. So I have zeros for all the records up through 1950, and that looks good. So that's the query I want to use for my name set. So I'm going to copy that and then go to NameSet, and I'm going to change this query here. And then this constructor is going to take a name, a gender, and a count. And I don't actually need the count here because I'm always going to return 100 records for every year. And then I want safe name is $name. Get rid of that. And then here I'm going to use safe name. And here I'm going to use safe gender. And I'll put a semicolon. And I think that should be it for the query. So this is going to fetch the results. And now I don't have the same fields coming back, so let's go ahead and change that. I'm just returning two fields, year and name count. So the first one's going to be this year field. Move this up here. And then count field. And those are the only two columns I have coming back. So this is 0 and this is 1. And then I'm going to have to fill in some of these other things. So name is always going to be $name. And gender is $gender. Year is that, so that's correct. Rank I'm not including at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and put a 0 here. Count is count field. Oh, I do need the total though, so let's go ahead and return the total here. So total for that year gender record. And these should all be in NameSet, so NameSet. And then metaphone field, let's just go ahead and set metaphone equal metaphone of name. Okay, so that should be it for the query. Oh, that should just be metaphone function. And in my name.php, I'm creating a name set. This bar chart isn't going to work exactly right, so I'm going to have to fix that. But let's do report for name, and let's see what we have so far. So undefined variable year in name.php on line 20. That should be name here. And I got rid of that parameter. There. So there's a report for Eleanor. And I'm going to have to, as I said, I'm going to have to fix these things for the bar chart. But looks like I'm in good shape for the next step.